Is it
Can
recording?
anyone truly reel in fools?
You see the number of
I
hours.
claim nothing of the sort. I tell them go cause mischief on the Shire and send them off. And when they get in trouble, you pay for it.
The purse strings are closed, so you start making this guild some money.
How would I do that? Look, I am relaxing here.
St. John, then I have a proposition for you. Thou could tell a story, or I could cut your tenure short as maestro. Your choice.
Do you think she's serious? I think she's serious. All right, well, what would you have me do?
Tell a story.
Well, I can do that sitting here.
Then tell 2 stories
That's twice as easy.
at the same time.
What? 2 stories at the same time.
I tell 2 stories at the same time.
You look like you doubt whether I could tell 2 stories at the same time.
That's why she should.
Aye.
What? Even
That's
you?
why she should.
Aye.
Wait. How many of you think that this is a difficult thing to tell 2 stories at the same time? I think maybe we should have a wager on it. So Maestrina, let's have a wager. What would be your stakes in this wager? If I can't tell 2 stories at the same time, what would I have to give you?
If you cannot tell 2 stories at the same time, you can reacquire Clubbins as your apprentice, and I will not have to deal with him, feed him, or protect him anymore.
Drive a hard bargain, my lady.
He's in a difficult apprentice.
How about this? If I can tell 2 stories at the same time, you take all of the guild apprentices as your responsibility.
I cannot lose. Very well.
Behold! Come lords, come ladies, come one, come all, come even ye doubting jackanapes! The master of the fools, the sultan of silly, the caliph of the foolish guilds! Sing and tell, Weaver will now tell not 1 story, but 2, and the story shall be... what shall the story? The clever tailor of Bremen and the musicians of that same said town. Thank you.
You see, once upon a time, there was a tailor. He was a clever fellow, and all day in his shop, his shears would flash, and his needle would twinkle as he made and mended clothing for his village. Now each day at lunchtime, to break his fast, he'd go to the pantry and he'd reach down a loaf of bread, and with a knife he'd cut a large slice of it. And then he would take jam and spread a generous portion on top of his bread, and in this way he would refresh himself at noontime. Now, one day as he was about to take a bite of his bread and jam, there came a knock upon the door.
Helps me.
Help me, good tailor. I have some pantaloons that need mending.
And what happened to my pantaloons?
It's be that worthless cat that I have. She spends her whole day scratching and clawing the family's clothes, and she will not chase mice.
Well, they want things to do for a worthless cat,
Tell, what would that be?
a burlap sack, and
Tis a wondrous idea, Taylor. I shall return in a few days for the mending.
And so as the tailor set aside his, mending, he took up his bread and jam and was about to take a bite when there came a knock at the door.
Hail to thee, Taylor. My cloak needs patching.
And what happened to thy cloak?
While my dog was sleeping, brigands broke in and damaged it.
Only one thing to do for a worthless dog.
And what be that?
Rat poison.
You are very wise, Taylor. Thank thee.
Never.
And so the tailor put aside the cloak, took up his bread and jam, and was about to take a bite when there came another knock upon the door.
Mr. Spike.
Your door.
Hail to thee.
Hail to me, Taylor. I have.
Where's the red?
the lazy carry the rest of it. But bonnet.
The rest of the bonnet.
Oh, donkey ate it.
There's only one thing to do for a worthless donkey.
And what, pray tell, might that be?
The tanner.
Ooh. And so the tailor put aside the bonnet, was about to take the bread and jam, when there came another knock upon the door.
Hail to thee.
Hail to thee, tailor! My socks need darning.
And what happened to thy socks?
My rooster crowed in the middle of the night, and I was worried for it, so I put them on and ran outside.
Without shoes.
Indeed.
There's only one thing to do for a worthless rooster.
And what would that be?
The soup pot.
I'll eat well tonight, tailor. Thank you.
And so the tailor set aside the socks and finally took up his bread and jam, only to find that a swarm of flies was buzzing above it. Now in a rage he lifted his hand up and he struck the flies. And when he opened his hand, he discovered he had killed 7 with one blow.
7 with 1 blow. 7 with 1 blow. 7 with 1 blow.
Now, being much enamored of this grand feat, he took a belt down from the shelf and he tooled into its surface the motto, 7 with 1 blow. And then he put the belt on and looked at himself in the mirror.
I am far too good for this tailor shop. I shall go in search of my destiny.
And before he went, he took down his backpack and he put in it things that he might need on the trip, such as an extra pair of socks, a hard cheese from off the shelf, and a small brown bird in a cage. Your backpack. And with these necessary items, he shouldered his backpack and went to find his destiny.
St.
Oh?
One story. What about the other stories?
Well, I was just getting to that, Maestrina. You see, in that same village, there was a cat. A cat. Yes. A poor cat who is bemoaning her fate because her mistress is going to put her in a burlap bag with rocks and drown her.
What am I to do? My mistress wants to put me in a sack and drown me, all because I won't eat cute little mice.
Now in the same village there was a poor hound dog and she was bemoaning her fate because her master was going to poison her with rat poison.
I don't do that.
Get out there!
Woe is me!
Hound, what's wrong?
My master wishes to poison me, all because I'd rather be taken down.
Bad humans.
Also in the same town, there was a donkey who was wailing because her mistress was going to take her to the tanner's.
My mistress is gonna send me to the tanner!
Why?
Because my back hurts!
And presently, the woeful trio was joined by a rooster in a snit.
I say! My master wishes to kill me and throw me in the soup pot, all because I'm a night owl.
What are we going to do?
Who's lost? We should fight!
I think we should skip town instead.
And do what?
I say zero.
Why, how? You have a beautiful voice. Do you really think so? Why?
Wait, you don't want to get anything?
Well, we all have voices.
It's true.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We sound beauteous.
Oh, yes.
Let's be musicians.
Where should we go?
planets known as Grubben. We shall find our fortunes there.
And so off down the road went the animals to find their destiny. Now up the very same road came the tailor, and he had been walking all day long. Presently he came to the base of a great hill. Not being deterred by life's ups and downs, he climbed that hill, and at the top found a fearsome monster. And who'll be the monster later? Found a fearsome giantess. Who looked upon him with contempt because, he really was such a puny fellow.
Tiny, insignificant human! What art thou doing on my mountain?
I am in search of my destiny. My destiny!
Well, if thy destiny is to become my supper, stand right there, I don't run very fast. Thou art in the right place.
I am not as insignificant as you seem to think. Look at this.
And she looked at his belt and saw the motto, 7 with 1 blow.
7 with 1 blow? Nonsense, not this human. But I shall have to test him. Perhaps if he challenges.
And so the giantess reached down on the ground and she picked up a stone. And she put it between her palms and she squeezed with all of her might. And out of the stone came a single drop of water.
I shall.
So the tailor reached into his backpack and he pulled out that hard cheese which looked for all the world like a stone. And he put it between his hands and he squeezed with all his might. And out of it came milk.
I will admit that is somewhat impressive, but I have another challenge for thee.
And so the giantess reached down on the ground and she picked up a boulder. And with all her might, she threw it into the sky. And it went up and arced through the heavens and came down, on the magistrate's barn.
Well,
That was indeed impressive. But I believe I can do better.
And so the tailor reached into his backpack and he pulled out that small brown bird, and it was so afraid it laid still in his hand and looked like a stone. Now he took it and he threw it into the air. Being so overjoyed at being freed, it flew up and up and up and disappeared into the clouds, not coming back to earth.
That being somewhat more impressive, I will admit. But he would make really fine feet in my band. But I can't let him get away with his 2 challenges. I mean, it has to be one more. I know. See that tree over there? We do need firewood for our camp. Does he want to carry the trunk or the branches?
I shall carry the branches, as that is the heaviest.
Oh, well.
And so the giantess went and ripped the tree out of the ground, and it was so large she could not look behind her and did not see that the tailor climbed into the branches and allowed her to carry the tree, the branches, and him back to her lair.
St. John,
Aye.
what about the other story? We have a wager on our princesses.
I was just coming to that. You see, the poor animals have been walking all day long. And their paws were tired, and their hooves were tired, and their little tail feathers were tired.
Like that. I don't even want to lick these. I just want him in half.
Now they vowed not to go another step farther until they found a place to rest. And so they looked all around them and discovered that right behind them was a small cottage that was empty. Now, going into the cottage, the cat found a brand new tapestry that had never been clawed. The dog found a blanket on the floor and promptly took a nap. And the donkey found a manger full of sweet hay. And the rooster, well, he roosted in the rafters. Now up the road came the giantess, the tailor, and a band of vicious thieves.
Look up ahead! Our hideout!
Doesn't it look a bit haunted?
On second look, it does look like there may be evil spirits about.
Creepy.
You fool! It's the very same hideout we have been using for years!
And so the giantess banged open the door, waking the animals who fled out the back. Now the giantess, the tailor, and the thieves made themselves at home, because it was their home. And presently, they fell asleep, while the forlorn animals looked in at the side windows.
Maybe we should sing for our new guest.
Hi.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a ghost! You coward! That be merely the witch.
Well, Grandma, let's go over here. This is fighting.
Go back to sleep.
And presently, the ropes fell asleep.
Mayhap they need a lullaby?
Hey, B flat. 1, 2, and
It is a ghost! Nay. We will investigate. Very well. And by we, I mean he. 7 with 1 blow, the bravest of us all. Will investigate.
All right.
Quickly now.
I'm going.
Quick like a bunny.
Make sure there's no monsters. Not seeing anything.
Now certain.
Yes, I believe it was just the wind.
The wind, as I said. Now, go back to sleep.
And presently, the villainous company fell into a fitful sleep.
Aye, we shall do another.
1, and 2, and a chick, come on, a chick.
Cease this caterwauling! Very well, then, we shall all go and investigate. And he shall lead us. Go ahead.
All right.
7 with 1 blow, we're right behind you.
Aye.
Behind
So
you.
they crept out of the cottage into the night.
They're coming out! They want an encore!
And as they came around the corner, they saw a large, ominous shadow.
They were right, it is haunted! Run for your lives!
I never should have left my tailor shop.
Now the giantess and the thieves fled into the hills and were never seen again, and the tailor ran all the way home, and the animals moved into the little cottage, and they found the thieves' treasure.
It's shiny!
They left us a tip.
We can retire! I can take a nap!
And the animals lived happily ever after. And that, my lady, is the end of my first tale. But as for the tailor, he ran all through the night until he reached his little shop. He threw the door closed and bolted it. And being all in a quake, he went to his pantry to find something to calm his nerves. He took down the bread, and he cut off a large slice of it, and he put an extra large helping of jam on it. And raising it to his lips, he took a bite and got his just desserts.